You should be continuing to look over these homework answers from last night. Right? Don't worry too much about the quiz. We'll go over it in a minute. Let's make sure you are checking out your homework answers. Yasmin. Sam? Ivy? James? Alice? Francine? Okay, now we got a little bit of some work with radicals and sequences. There's some answers there for you. Any questions? Okay, and here's the next real set here. Number 7, arithmetic and geometric. Remember, arithmetic adds the same thing over and over again. Geometric multiplies, and adding and subtracting are the same thing for arithmetic and geometric, multiplying and dividing. Okay. And then I would like to go to number 9, as it will lead into number 2 on the quiz. Using the parent function y equals absolute value of x, describe the effects of the numbers in graphing y equals 2 absolute x plus 7 minus 1. Well, they all do different things. The 7 is in the package, inside the grouping symbol, so it moves 7 to the left. Remember, inside the symbol is always reversed. The -1 moves down 1, and the 2 makes it more narrow or twice as thin. Any question on those? Okay. Now let's get to today's what's this quiz number? 7A, okay. Yeah, this question's going to be slightly different. The first two, the quiz I've put up, the first two questions are going to be the same, and then it changes a little bit. Oh, no, maybe it's completely different. All right, I'll work off of the quiz without having the regular one to work from. Today's lesson is number 28. Oh, you know what? Forget that. I'm going to have to put it from over here because this is a new made-up sheet. So I'm going to try as hard as I can to gracefully waste about a minute and a half here because I have to get this stuff onto my flash drive. I didn't realize I had to do that. Okay, so what else is new and exciting?
What's new and exciting?
The wrestling match today?
Yeah.
Who are we wrestling?
Sexton.
Ooh. This is a big one. Going for, well, I know I have the library tonight, but we will see. What's that?
You'll make it something last time.
You have no confidence.
No, the time. It usually ends before like 6.
Does it?
Wait, what time do you have to?
I have to be there at about 5:30.
That's when it ends. It ends around that time.
Let's see what happens here.
Are they done? Maybe. They can't wait to
I don't, you know, I'll tell you what. It's been a long time since I've seen, any of the wrestling that's gone on here. So I don't know how good we are and how good they are. I know I watched some videos of some kids wrestling the other day. Yeah. And, the problem is, in wrestling is a lot like baseball or softball. You can think you're good, and all it takes is one really good pitcher, and you can't hit the ball. And it doesn't matter how good you think you are. So likewise, in wrestling, my opinion of the matches I've seen on the videos is that the other teams just stink. They're horrible. So I have no idea how good we are or are not. Wrestling's a strange sport, though. 25 years ago, wrestlers were much better than they are now. Okay, let me shrink this down. Now, let me just find the one I'm looking for. We said it was 7 what? 7 double A?
That's correct.
All right, so I need 7 double A, but I also need, aha, here it is. No, these are the two I need. This one and that one. Let me get this out of here. Beautiful. Okay, so let's start going over these quiz questions with my very awkward beginning to today's lesson. Okay, let's see here. I think everybody got number 1 right, so I don't need to bother talking about it. It's choice 3. However, number 2. Listen, you guys did so much more work than you needed to. Where is the 2 here? So it's horizontal shift. Move 2 to the right. Done.
Did I just explain
Okay. Do you see this? This is, it tells you the vertex right here. And this tells you that g of x is the same function as f of x, but I'm going to put a -2 in the parentheses. -2 inside the grouping symbol of the parentheses is horizontal shift. So I have to move 2 to the right, because they're always reversed in the parentheses. So if this was 2-1 and I move 2 to the right, now I'm at 4-1. Done, fini, that's it, whole thing done. Some of you guys wrote volumes. Yeah, you tried hard, which was really good, but that's all there was to it. Only 2 people got that right. You were 1. Okay. Just about every person got the next one right, number 3. How many people kept adding 4 over and over and over and over again? You can do it. It's a lot of adding 4s. Oh, I'm sorry, adding 8 over and over and over again. But it's a whole lot easier to do this. A sub n equals, well, in general, it would be a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. That's the general formula for it, where a sub n is the nth term, and it's equal to the first term plus n minus 1 times the difference. In this case, the first term is 9, plus, you know I like to put the difference in front, 8, and it's the 25th term, so 24 goes there. Okay? Right? I'll let you discuss for a moment. We good? Okay. Now, that one I thought was an easy question, and judging by your papers, virtually every person got it right. Now, I suspect that a number of you kept adding 8 over and over and over again, which is most certainly the long way to do it. This is the short way. Do you remember me mentioning the last couple of days that the explicit formula is the one you want to use when they say what is the such and such term? And that the recursive formula is really the best formula when they want you to write out the sequence, okay? So let's go to the 10th term of this guy. Now, you can keep multiplying by 2, times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2, times 2, and you will get to the correct answer. However, and we did a lot of these guys in red here. For these guys, number 4, we didn't do as many that were geometric or exponential in nature. For this one, a sub n equals a sub 1 times the common ratio to the n minus 1, which is going to be, what's the first term? 7 times, what's the common ratio? 2 to the, what's the 10th term, so it will be the 9th term. So 2 to the 9th is 512, and 512 times 7 is 3584.
Wait, explain that again.
One more time, ready? A sub n always means the term we're looking for. In this particular problem, we're looking for the 10th term. So a, that looks like a 9. A sub 10 is, you ready? It's always a sub 1. That's always what you start with. So that's a 7. And then the common ratio, r, the ratio, 2 to the n minus 1 power. Well, the n is 10, so 10 minus 1 is 9.
Okay.
And then you just compute, okay? So I thought you'd have a little trouble with this guy here because we haven't done too many examples of it in class. I'm not worried about it because you should get that right tomorrow. And I always knew in the back of my mind that worst comes to worst, you would just go times 2, 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 etc. And I knew number 2 would give you a hard time. Okay? So when it comes to tomorrow's quiz, be prepared. It's going to look just like this, obviously with the numbers changed. And I would just be prepared on this one. You might see the shift inside the parentheses, which would make it horizontal, but you might also see the shift outside the parentheses, which would make it what? Vertical. So be prepared for either possibility tomorrow. All right? Do you agree with me that number 2 is really, truly simple? You just had to see it? Yeah, but you had to see it. If you don't see it, you're not going to get it. And that, folks, is the purpose of the quiz. And James, might I mention that that's why we work hard, so that we're prepared. Because performance is a function of preparation. All right. Now, speaking of got it, let's go through this question right here. Ready? Is the following sequence geometric or arithmetic? You tell me. Hey, psst. Arithmetic or geometric, everybody? Arithmetic. How come it's arithmetic? You're adding the same thing over and over again. It has a common difference. 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Write a function rule. The function rule would be y equals, and then we're going to kind of do it like mx plus b. This goes back to 0, and since this is 3's, that goes back to 2. So it's going to be y equals 3x plus 2. Remember, when we follow y equals mx plus b, m is slope or rate of change. Very good. And this is the y-intercept, always pairs with 0. Any questions on that? Okay. If I wanted to write a recursive formula for this, it would be this. A sub 1 is 5. A sub n plus 1. The new term is the previous term plus 3. Because you're adding 3 every time. If I wanted an explicit form, a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus the, let me put in a sub 1. A sub 1 is 5. Plus the common difference is 3, always times n minus 1. I'm sorry?
Why is it 2?
Oh, because the y-intercept always pairs up with 0. Because this, if I graph this, this would be the point 0, 2, which is right here, which makes it the y-intercept. Okay? Any other question? Okay. So today, my opinion, I'm constantly in a state of doing this. I constantly ask myself, what can I do better? How was my, this is the biggest way I word it, how was my preparation? Do I believe that the kids were prepared for this? That question number 2 that you just got a couple minutes ago, that question was on, I believe, the first Common Core algebra regions that there ever was. And my kids had a hard time with it. And I said to myself, you know, I really didn't prepare them for questions like that, which means that you either see it and get it the first time, or it's too late for the test. So making sure that ever since then, I include questions like that in a quiz once or twice during the year, and you will see it in those review sheets that you get as well when you get one on horizontal and vertical shift, because it's not hard. And my class struggled with that question because I didn't do a good enough job preparing them. I didn't think it was their fault. I think it's an easy question. I think it was my fault. But to be fair to me, I had never seen a practice test before, and they had never asked a question like that before. So I had no idea it was coming. My attempt to prepare you is to prepare you for every kind of thing that could be coming. To show it all to you ahead of time, so that when you're taking the test, you don't look at it like, I have no idea what this is. So, just very quickly, a quick 2-second review here, and then we're going to go into a bunch of practice regions questions that were all about sequences that'll help us round out our understanding. This is the recursive formula. Write the first 5 terms of this sequence. Go ahead. Okay, what's first term, everybody? 8. What's the next ones? 11, 14, and 20. And it goes on forever and ever. And these two notations are exactly the same. It's the same exact way of saying things. N plus 1 is the term after n, and n is the term after n minus 1. Let's see. Write 2 recursive formulas, 2 different formulas for the next one. Here's a chance to practice questions like number 4 on your quiz. Right here. Write 2 recursive formulas for this geometric sequence. We know it's geometric because it's being multiplied by 2. So remember, a sub n is equal to the first term times the common ratio to the n minus 1. Oh, that's if I want to figure out which one it is. That's the explicit form. You write down what the first term is, and then how you go from one term to the next term. Okay, what's the first term, everybody? A sub 1 is 3. And then if I want to get the new term, it's going to be 2 times the old term. Agree? The new term, a sub n, is 2 times the old term, a sub n minus 1, or the previous term. The other way I could write it is this. A sub 1 is 3, and a sub n plus 1 is 2 times a sub n. They're the same exact thing. The big thing you're seeing in this recursive formula is that you are multiplying by 2. Look at the arithmetic one right here. The only thing that, the n plus 1 and n are the same on both of them, but in this one you're adding 3, so you write plus 3. In this problem you're multiplying by 2, so you write times 2. Okay? What would the 10th term in that sequence be? This is where you want to use that explicit formula. A sub n equals the first term, and then you're going to go times the ratio to the n minus 1. This is the one that's like number 4 on your quiz. A sub n equals the first term, which is 3, times, what's the common ratio? 2. To the n minus 1, which would be 9. 2 to the 9th is 512, times 3 is 1536. Okay? Any questions? Okay. So here is an old Regents question. I'll give you a minute, minute and a half. You can talk to somebody next to you, figure it out. See if the formula leads you to the correct answer. For instance, this is the, hey,
Why no?
because it's misbehaving. What the heck?
Smack it.
Bad! What's that? Who's in the play here? Who's in the play? No one in this class is in the play?
Technically, I was in it,
Wow.
but I quit because I was doing volleyball basketball.
Okay, I'm just surprised. Usually the honors kids are all the ones in the play. No, that's a true statement. Year after year after year, the kids in my honors class say, Mr. Lakewood, you going to the play, you going to the play, you going to the play. And I always go just to, or I try to always go, just so that they're there. Anyway, plug in.
You killed it.
Did it die?
I told you.
It better not have died.
Ooh, disconnected.
Kill you if you die.
Okay, I'm not getting the blinking light, so this should work. I'm getting sound. All right, here we go.
You guys stopped.
Okay, good.
Bye.
So let's plug in the terms and see. This is term 4. How many blocks are in term 4? Not 14, not 16 or 18, there's 14 blocks. 3 rows of 4. 3 rows of 4, which is 12, plus 13, 14. Now, if I plug in a 4 here, do I get 14? No. It says n plus 4, that would be 8. That doesn't work. This one says 2 is the first term, and then you add 4 each time. Now look at this. How many did we start with? 2. And don't we add, now this one was here before, another row of 4 each time? These 2 were here before, add another row of 4. So that formula does explain what's going on. This is good. 2 definitely works. Now as far as 3 goes, let's plug in the 4 and see if it works. What's 4 times 4? 16. 16 minus 2? 14. Now that doesn't guarantee it, but let's try term 3 and see if that works. What's 4 times 3?
12.
Minus 2? 4, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so that works as well. So both 2 and 3 work. So the moral to the story with this is, if you look at the way they're explaining the rules, use a check system, plug in the numbers into the rule, and see if it actually works, and let that guide you. Okay? Questions? Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Which recursively defined function has a first term equal to 10 and a common difference of 4? Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
First term of 10, a common difference of 4. What do you think? Everybody? Come on, have some guts.
3.
1. Okay. The first term is 10 and the common difference of 4 means you gotta keep adding 4. Does choice 3 add 4?
Difference.
Yes. It's a difference because when you go from term to term to term, there's a difference of 4. If I multiply by 4, I'm not going to create a difference, I'm going to create a ratio.
Well,
Okay. Number 20. If a sequence is defined recursively by f of 0 is 2 and f of n plus 1 is blah, 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 then f of 2 is equal to. Have fun.
thanks.
Enjoy. Maya's decided that she's going to do this in her head.
Well, we can't see it on our paper.
Or she's decided she's not going to do it. That's the other possibility. What's the first term of the sequence, everybody?
2.
2. Now, the next term, this would be the 0th term, if you will, because it says f of 0. Now let's do the first term. The first term is going to be, let's plug in. This says the new term is negative 2 times the previous term plus 3. So if the previous term is 2, what's negative 2 times 2?
Negative 2.
Negative 4. plus 3 is negative 1. Okay, now we're going to do the second term, which is f of 2. So once again, this means new term, previous term. So I got to do negative 2 times the previous term. The previous term is negative 1. What's negative 2 times negative 1? Positive 2 plus 3? 5. Okay, hold it. If the third term, if the third term in the sequence is 10 and the fifth term is 26, ready? Blah, 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 10, blah, 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 26. Which is an equation that will figure out the nth term? Hold it, what's the common rate? What's the common difference here, guys? How do you know the common difference is 8? How much am I going up here? And how many places was that? So therefore it is 8. This is 18, 2, negative 6, and that would set up my formula. Hasta la vista, vaya con Dios, toodaloo, ta-ta. Arrivederci, smile a lot. Ciao. Good adios amigos y amigas. Cheerio, ganusharus, kadafis. Are you looking for with or without peanuts? With.
Ryan Latuma and Spencer Hour, please report to the nurse's office. Ryan Latuma and Spencer Hour to the nurse's office. Thank you.
A little bit because I put a whole bunch of
Isabella
peanut
Figuera
M&Ms
to the guidance office,
Don't
please.
like more.
Isabella
I want some
Figuera.
too. Are you all psyched for your brother? Well, you also get the house to yourself.
Yeah.
And haven't you kind of wanted that? But you'll miss him a little bit too.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Enjoy. Oh no!
Hey, you're not gonna take any friends' heads off playing volleyball outside today, are you?
Maybe.